Welcome everybody to War Commander Watchtower. It is our brand new brand, and we're gonna. It is a new thing for us, so be patient with us. We're gonna try to get over and make a great show out of this War Commander Watchtower. I will introduce the panel. It is Ghost Rider. Can you unmute and say hello? Hello.
Hello.
And we have Chad on the side too. Can you say hello? Well, I go to the next one. Disco, can you unmute and say hello?
Hello, people.
And High Anxiety, can you say hello?
Hello, welcome to the show.
And Trickster, can you say hello?
Yo.
And we have Scott, but I think he's out for the moment.
No, I'm here, but I've got to mute up because of the dog. I will keep an eye on the side chat.
Okay. Well, we are starting now, and we are going through. I will talk about the event. What do you think about the event, guys? I can start off with Brandy.
I enjoyed it. The only part that I had a problem with is when they had an issue with the trying to hit bases to get that part. The first day it was fine, and after that it was like it was broken. But it seemed to be fixed on the very last day. Other than that, the event was fine.
Well,
I give it a 9.
Oh, great. And Chad?
The event, it wasn't bad. I mean, I'm gonna rate it a 5.
5?
Yeah, there was a few bugs for the game, and that's what did it for me. I mean,
Yeah.
that and the grind, though, to get what you actually wanted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Disco?
Yeah, personally, I thought the event was really good.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. A few glitches that were spoken about before that need addressing. Hopefully, Kixeye will get to them. But easily a solid 9.
Oh, nice. High Anxiety?
I enjoyed it once the glitches were done, but I gave it a 9.5 the last time we had a chit chat about this, but I think I'm going to drop a little bit because it doing 10 cycles to get all the parts was excessive. Nobody, that's great if you got nothing to do for the 5 days of the event, if you got no life.
Mm-hmm.
But just if you have a life, if you want to try to have a life and the game, 4 repeats, maybe 5 should be all you need to get the new stuff. And then if you need more stuff, then you have, you invade your private life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drop it a full point because I think it was excessive on the grind.
We're gonna go through that later in this program.
Okay.
Scott, if you're there, what will you rate the event? Or is it Trickster?
All right, I'll hang up again.
Yeah. Trickster?
Yep.
What will
I really enjoyed the event, actually. I reckon we should go through it 15 times. I was well happy with it, apart from, I think it was the first day on Faction 4 with a 7-minute timer. That was glad to change that for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've got max controllers, I've got all my elites. What's he called? Adam. I've got all my Amiga Adam parts. I'm an happy bunny.
That is good.
Yeah, I didn't really have any bugs until yesterday. I had more disconnects yesterday than for the whole event. I'll get a solid 10 still.
Yeah. What about you, Scott?
I enjoyed it. I did think, I agree with Jeff, I do think 10 full rounds to get the unlimited Gorgons was a bit of a grind, but then again, I'm a glutton for punishment, and I always grind it out anyway. So I'd give it a solid 9 if you're still after a score.
That's good. Actually, I enjoy myself the event pretty much, and I grinded it a little bit too, but and I will give it a solid 9 in this event.
I think I found it a bit more than you, because I think this last event is the most XP I've ever got on an event. I got just under 24 million XP.
Oh, great
Well,
job.
Bonsai, how much XP did you get out of it? 'Cause that is how we can tell between the two of you which one grinded it more.
Yeah, I got.
Well, even I beat Bonsai, so
Yeah, this one had actually my controllers maxed and my device maxed, so I didn't see any. For me, there was no. There was not an what do you call it?
no incentive to do it.
No, but I did testing some other of my units in the event and what they could do against the units. So yeah, for me it was still fun to do. But what I noticed under the event was that a lot of people was complaining about the Mikey tech it not working, and that has actually not worked from the beginning. And I saw on Discord actually that Kix Drake and Kix Braden are actually about to fix that issue with the tech on Mikey.
Okay.
So it was when I saw it on the Discord actually, and what people wrote into them, taking screenshots and videos, that actually helped. So I think
It was actually broken though, because I was one shot in that ad.
yeah, I think for some people it worked, and for some it didn't. But what I could understand that it will be fixed for the next downtime they will do. And it was simple, the feedback from the players that Mikey didn't work, so I will give those players that sent in those tickets and videos and screenshots a big thank you, because that unit, Mikey, is, sorry, beep, awesome. So I loved it when I saw that. There was apparently some bug with Adam, and I think from what I could see, they will work on it and see if they could fix that too. And I saw some screenshots too, and I think making a screenshot from your phone to your screen is maybe not the best option you can do to make a ticket. There is some programs in Windows you can actually use for that. If can any of you? My is typed different, and I have put a link to how you do a screenshot on our page. That is War Commander Watchtower, and I will ask you, what do you use to take a screenshot?
I actually use Paint, but that's because I'm used to that program. It's been around for a while, and it shows stuff without like any weird lines in it and whatever. And also, too, whenever they want you to send a screenshot, they want the date and time as well.
Yeah. So when you take a picture so you can see actually the date and the time in the lower right corner of your screen.
Pretty much everything, so they know that you did not modify it.
Yeah, because and that's why I think they probably will sometimes want videos so you cannot editing a video as you can a picture or what
Correct.
Photoshop.
Because God knows nobody can modify their date and time on the computer.
Actually, I have the program in the bottom of my screen here. I use in my language it's called a clipping tool. I just press new, and then I can mark what I want to take a picture of. and then I can copy it. Just right click it and put copy, or store it on your drive. It's pretty
Exactly
simple.
That's exactly what I use, Bonsai. Over here, it's called Snipping Tool.
Snapping tool.
You can create the same new, and you can copy and you can store it. That's what I use.
Yeah.
And Dark Shadow said inside chat, Windows 7, there is a program called Snipping Tools. It's part of Windows. You click on your start button and type in snipping, and it will come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
the one I use. Yeah.
And I think there's some hotkeys to that too. So when you're doing a screenshot and you want to get a ticket in, don't do it from a phone because if I was a Kickstarter member that should read a screenshot that is blurry, I would not take that for granted if that is not Photoshop. So make sure that you make a good screenshot by using some of those free programs that is on your desktop. And Trista, what do you use for screenshotting?
I've just downloaded that one that Anxiety gave the link to.
Light shot.
Light shot, yeah.
Yeah. So
Works pretty much the same way.
yeah. So do yourself a favor. Just use those for the screenshots. And if you want to some video, there are some programs for that too. And you can actually just type free screen capture. And there will be a lot of options on that.
Yeah, like Dark Shadows just said, just typing in the search at the bottom right, just looking tool and it comes up.
And for some reason, they don't want you to use Bandicam anymore, probably because it's the old software. I don't know, but some people still use it. I don't.
It can maybe be something with the files when it is stored.
Quite possible, yeah.
So they have maybe used some programs that are newer, so it maybe not follows up.
I use iSpring games.
Yeah. Well, the next I want to go through is the 60 part for unlimited build, where some of you have already talked about it, but I want to ask you, was 28 okay that we have on the last units, or is 60, is that a good amount for the unlimited build? Is it grind worthy or is it not? Can I have an opinion on that from any of you?
To me, it's not, but that's because, once you max out one unit, something else comes in place that's better, but that's just me.
It's hard to tell how they formulate things.
Mm-hmm.
Because 75 of the trackers, who would ever need 75 trackers? I don't see where their future is in that concept.
No.
Right.
I don't use the trackers at all.
But
right. I got 12.
I've got one.
I've got one. I've got one that I was using in the advanced resale spaces.
Okay, but this is a unit that actually can fire and actually can do some damage in even in PvP and PvE basis.
Well, it was far in excess over what the first two Gen 4 units did. I mean, the controllers and the devouts, you didn't need that many.
I think it
Right.
was.
And I got 110 devouts.
Well, the one even says 60 is fine for him, and he would always suggest 60 anyways.
Well, I see it like this for a long time, and that was probably why I still grinded the event. It was to get those unlimited build. We have for a long time said that there's nothing to do in the event after two run-throughs for those that have everything. In my eyes, that kept me going with the event. So for me, I don't mind if they have that. Maybe that is too much, 60, but up in that area about 50 or 40 or 50 to get the unlimited build, it doesn't.
40 would have been better. 60 was the
Yeah,
real
but in this event you had to get the what you call the tokens for the devouts and for or the
Oh, no,
repair
I
time, not the tokens. There's wrong word to say, but
logistics.
the logistics for them. So
I
if you
think
want to go and have them all, you have to kill the the event as much as you could if you started from maybe a level 10. So that will automatically be a 60 grind in my eyes.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when you look at people's bases that are not heavy coiners, I mean, you don't see max stuff for the most part, except for like the things of the past, like the Judge, the Pegasus, things like that. But for the smaller units like sharpshooters and so forth, to this day, I still maybe see like level 12 sharpshooters, and there's not one I have yet to see that's maxed. So for those who max them out, that's great. But ultimately, in order to be a really good base, you don't need to have every single thing that just comes out maxed, but have to be able to kill a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I find that sometimes if you, all right, it is a grind, but it's a good way of lower levels catching up on certain things. I mean, I'm a level 48 and I didn't have all the elite Adam parts, and I managed to get all 40 parts in the event. So things like that, I think, is always a good thing.
Yeah, but logos actually catch up.
But I actually didn't. I have seen a lot of complaints about this one, but I actually don't see it as a problem because if you didn't have your controllers and devouts maxed out, you have to go through it anyway as many times as you could to get the XP for it. So you actually automatically will get the 60 60 units to get it to unlimited. That's how I see it.
I think it should be limited to one run through per day. So if it's a 6-day event, then you should be expected to do 6 run throughs.
Yeah.
I think going beyond that, you're asking too much of the player to spend time. If I can't play on Sunday, then maybe I think, okay, I got to squeeze in 2 run throughs Saturday so Monday I can catch up.
Yeah.
But to go to 10, to put more run throughs than you have days on the event, I think is asking too much of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so about 30, 36 or something like that, or 60, not 60, 30 or 36.
Well, they can always change the number of parts that are awarded. Yeah. I mean, if they want to make it 60, so you get 10 per run through if you get 6 runs.
Yeah, what I was going to say though is about the mid and low level players. They couldn't even get through 1 because faction 2, 3, and 4 are all 1 hit.
Yeah, we're gonna go to that later, Trickster.
Fair enough. I don't know what you got on your program.
So about 36 of them. Will that be a good amount?
Yeah.
That is a run through if you do it one every day.
I think they just need to make it so that, limit the number of run throughs. And regardless of how many, I mean, if they're going to make it 60, make it 60, but then make it 6 run throughs to get that. No more run throughs than there are days in the event, because everybody should be able to do 1 run through a day.
But even
I used to do 3 run throughs Thursday when it starts. So
I usually skip the first day because of all the bugs and the and the irritants. By day 2, there are videos to watch, and everybody else that was complaining, everything's fixed.
Yeah, my husband was able to do his within the 2nd and 3rd day, and he was able to get up to faction 3 before he stopped. But that's because he's had his account for about 6 months, so he's been able to have to build up some of his units. And it was pretty interesting to watch that part.
I have actually. Sorry, Disco. What?
Just going to say they would never do like the one run through a day because they've still got to think about their own income. It is a business.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that run through it more. I'm just saying for the bare minimum or for the maximum. They need to set a maximum because they're fluctuating.
I do agree with you that 10 run-throughs was far too many.
No.
The ones just say, but some players do 18 rounds a day. But you
Yeah,
never
to
sleep.
me, that's like, okay, have y'all slept yet? Have you ate something yet?
Yeah,
Do you go
they're-
anemic just during the event?
Or use something.
They've got
But,
other health issues.
Sleep deprived?
I noticed something actually more in the event. That was in some bases there was some hidden units. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Only
Was that Faction 3? Wasn't
I
that
think,
Faction
yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
it was a jackrabbit at the front.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
it's like way
Jack
out of the
in
area.
front. I was thought, what the
Yeah,
fuck? Sorry, what the beep was that? But that was actually pretty funny that they made that one.
Wondering whether that's a hint at
But
I was talking about the
but
ones.
what did
Go
you
ahead.
guys do to counter that? When, because I had seen that a lot of players could not find the units they wanted to kill.
Just hit fist. And
Yeah.
away she goes.
I had left those until the end of the round and then
Yep.
send in the aces on Ruby.
Ruby works too.
I actually did the same because I could not understand why my units couldn't find anything to shoot at. So I took them out and put aces in and pressed the ruby button.
That
I
may
think
be,
they were choppers.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell what they were. You didn't want to waste your ground or something trying to take it.
No, because
They were the little purple or blue. I think the purple choppers. There were like
Yeah.
5 or 6 of them on the edge of it.
I think
Right.
it,
I think they were.
I think it was Kickstarter's new air that put in on the that there was actually a picture of it on the event.
Yeah, that was the shadow, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we could see was the shadows of them.
Oh, I thought in Faction 3, I think I kept on hitting Kickstarter's personal controller teleporter because my controllers went from one side of the map to the other and got shot to beat.
I noticed that in Faction 4.
And what was your go through tunes in this event? Did you have some particular favorite units you used in this?
Chopper and aces.
Aces, chopper, and controllers for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, aces, chopper, controllers, Nova.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Certain days, I think 5 and 6. Sorry to talk over your Disco, that's rude. But base 5 and 6, Braden.
Right.
Braden was the go-to unit for the cave and the one after it.
Did any
Yeah.
of you actually I know that maybe some of you didn't have maxed out controllers, but did any of you level your controls and use them as they went higher and higher?
No, I don't upgrade anything past maybe level 14, and I used it the same way with anybody that has a max does.
Yeah, but
I noticed a difference from 12 to 19, Bonsai.
yes, exactly.
I did notice a difference. But when I started the event, they were level 12. And had the game not gone down an hour before time, I might have got them to level 20. I've still got 4 days to go now on level 20. I did manage to get the 9. I got 9 tokens, 9. So that took 9 days off of the last upgrade. But yeah, there was a big difference from 12 to 19.
Yeah.
I noticed a huge difference. Mine went from 10 to 15.
Yeah, I did actually use my controllers as a upgrading.
I loved my controllers in this event.
Yeah, you started noticing as the increased range happened. All of a sudden, you were able to kill stuff well before they even noticed you.
Yeah.
And it just made it beautiful.
Actually, if you see on the first show we did of the event, you could actually see I think it was the Fraction 4, how the controllers could smash that base from a distance. I love my controllers. But you could all see the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
That was
Definitely. I even started using my controllers to do faction 1 and 2 to save the missiles and the res
Yeah.
for.
And on
the
that note,
faction 3 and
Bonsai,
4.
Mm-hmm.
question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott. So now, what is your new go-to favorite unit, or are you indecisive because now you have so many favorite units?
Oh, I still love my Prophet, and I still love my Hive, and I still love my new controllers. I have 3 favorites now, not just one.
Oh, so the chopper company's out the door, huh? Or is that the 4th?
No, that is
You still in love with the Prophets, are you?
yeah.
Bonzo's being a unit or
Yeah, I love to use my units, and I love to use them in many ways.
I can't wait to see what this
Bron-
story is going to be.
Bonsai
Like.
needs a 12-step program to get over the loss of his profit.
Oh.
using and abusing them.
Yeah, but this will bring us to the one hit basis and the event. What do you think about that? Was it 3 bases? That was 1 hit basis.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
3 and 4 fraction base, and what was it? There was one more, I think.
It was crap until they gave one of them more
6,
time.
I think you'll find 6 was a 1-hit base as well.
But which one was it that was crap until they extended the time on? Was it the faction 3?
Faction 3 and 4, that was because they were both 7 minutes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once they gave it more time, that was great. But initially, no.
I've got a good and a bad side to that.
Yeah, but what if Kickside do another event? Would you like some? Is it okay that there is 1 hit bases like we had this time, 2 or 3 of them?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
No, I don't think 3. I think just faction 4.
Just a
Shad's
faction.
actually just put in on YouTube that the 1-hit bases were 1, 3, and 6 on the main track, and then 3 and 4 for
Actually,
the
5.
faction. So there was actually 5 1-hit bases.
Yeah.
That might be a tad too much.
Faction 2 was.
Faction 1 was not Faction 1, but Main
No,
1 was a
main,
1-hit?
Main 1 was
Didn't
1
even
hit.
notice.
Yeah, but
Main
that
1 was 1
so
hit.
easy.
3 was 1 hit.
Yeah.
And 6 was 1 hit. And then faction 3 and 4.
Honestly, the ones on the main were actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
But
the thing about it is for the lowers because they can't get it correct.
yeah, but do you want to see a lower level or mid-level players running around with maxed out units that?
No, that's the good
No,
side.
you don't.
That's the good side to it, though.
Yeah.
But why I said faction 4 is just to give them a couple of extra bases they can do.
So if you say
That's the
3,
downside to it.
so if you say that there should be 3 1-hit bases or 2 1-hit bases.
Oh,
I think 2 is fine, or 1.
well, I'd say just faction 4.
Yeah.
I never
Like
really,
have one in main at the end, and have one in the second at the end.
I
maybe.
never really had a problem.
If you
As long
can't
as
get
time.
that base done, then you can't get the trophy.
As long as we get enough allocated time, I've not got a problem with the 1
I
hit.
think 14 minutes is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more time to lose more of your units.
What do you think of the logistics that they put on? Could you find out how many? I had not that problem, so but I heard a lot of players had to calculate how many parts because it was not shown anywhere how many logistics they have.
Actually show.
Sorry.
It did. It showed every time you went to use one, it showed how many you had, and when you went to use your XP to collect them from the prize store, it showed you how many you had
Yeah.
before you collected any more, because you could only hold 15 at a time, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you had the 15, they went out of the prize store.
Yeah, but I think there was some players that got more than 15. If I
No, yeah, you could collect more than 50. You could use more than 15 over the event, but you could only collect 15 at one time. You could only hold a maximum of 15.
so
Well, I don't think that unlimited was intended.
It was never clearly stated what was going on, and that's Kixeye's biggest fault. They don't clearly outline what to expect. You have to kind of live and learn.
I've got to run.
I think it was only intended
Okay.
that you could
okay,
buy.
would you want to give a shout out?
Of course. That's why I just said I've got to run.
Oh.
Shout out to you, Bonsai, and everybody on the panel, and to those out there who are watching now and who will be watching later. This is our first main live stream, so feel free to like, subscribe, and do the notification bell so you get that notification, and y'all have a good day.
Oh, thank you.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Enjoy. Oh, it's cut off.
But you didn't have any problem to figure that out, or was it confusing, or
No, it wasn't a
could
problem.
Kixeye have done something else that could make it easier for?
I think buying more than 15 was not intended. I think there was supposed to be the
No.
limit of 15.
I think that was somebody that found out of that pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you had no you had no issue with that.
No, I've got no issues. I've got max controllers now, so I'm happy. Our Queen of War Commander is in the side chat.
Oh, hello, Skipjack.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have the same opportunity next event.
No, I think you will have a 15 limit, and that'll be it.
Oh, did any of you notice that the Adam boss base was changed in the event?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was for the better.
Yep.
Yeah,
The,
about
that
400 centuries.
yeah.
Yeah, that was better for my chopper, though.
At least it was 400 centuries, not 400 devouts.
Yeah, well, that's small.
But did you do anything new when you hit it first time and you found out that actually could be done with just air? Did you do anything different when you found out that they have put in some sentries?
No, I still killed them with my chopper.
What about
Free repair.
what about Scott?
I used, what did I use? I used chopper, shock missiles, and Mikey and aces.
What about you, Jeff?
But
I don't know. Just
oh, we lost Chad. But he's in the side.
yeah, we did.
Chad's in the side chat.
Yeah, but he was on the panel.
Yeah.
Versus having microphone problems.
What about you, Jeff? Did you when you hit the Adam base first time and looked at it and
I'm thankful it was as easy as it was. It looked harder, but it just became a grind. And luckily, we were in a sector that dropped them about every hour.
yeah.
See, I find that with an Omega unit, if you don't get the unit in the first event, I know you get 7 days, so your Omega unit drops for 7 days. If you're not lucky enough to get it on the first event, because normally they run for 3 events, when it comes round to the second time, they change the bases and make them a little bit more difficult? Or is that just me that finds that?
I have not seen that.
I think sometimes they have with some of the bases.
I think maybe if they find out that they are too easy, they're gonna put some little extra stuff in and or take something out and put something different in.
I'm just going to get the link.
But usually it is the same base setup in my what I have seen.
Yeah. Normally the same base setup, but I have noticed some of the units have changed.
I actually didn't make any difference because I have my own way to kill them, and that was not with air. So the sentries, yeah, they were there, but not the big obstacle for me. So I didn't notice the big difference in killing the base. That is just me. So
Yes, welcome, Skip.
oh, welcome, Skip. And then we come to the new Gorgon. Have you any of you tested it?
No, I thought we'd test it on the show since it's first show.
Sorry, sorry, Tuxa.
I thought we'd test it live on the show if you want.
Yeah, we can do
I've
that.
got mine going to level 5, but I haven't
Yeah,
bought any
who's
yet.
got it at level 20 yet?
If you want to screen share a test, I can always.
I've got to reconnect to the game because I've not actually used them yet. To tell you the truth.
Oh, good. How many do you have?
15, I think, something like that.
Good. Jump to my sector and try to smash my base with them.
What
See how
base?
many-
If you want me to.
My,
Evening Skip.
But what base are we talking about?
my base.
Ooh!
You had a new base set up.
If you're gonna slap me on my ass, make sure it's something with something other than a Gorgon.
But the Gorgon has a big gun.
That sounds like it doesn't last long.
Although the Gorgon does have a big gun, I will hand you that.
I used 15 of the Gorgons in a level 3 thorium base, and I didn't protect them, and they get 8.5 minutes damage at level 5.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be crap until we get the workshops on them.
I'll never.
That's going to be this week, innit? We can start getting the tech for them with Shadow Ops.
I would hope so.
What happens?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people that said, "Oh, we don't know anything about the text," but we talked about that in the last show that you guys did, as far as I know. Maybe even in the first show that you can see them all in the workshop. It's
all
out there.
public knowledge.
Yeah, it's out there on the pages. Thank you. I'd like to say thank you, Jeff, because I have taken that, borrowed it, and shared it with other people. The chart with all the text.
Yeah, that was awesome thing.
A nice picture, very concise, easy to read, and people are like, "Oh, it's so small, I can't read it." Click on it.
Jeff, have you a picture of that near you?
I put it up on the.
But can you
On the live
screen share
chat
it so I can maybe screen share it?
Yeah, hold on.
Right.
Yeah.
I have got. Now have a look. Oh, what have I gone in there? I'm not going to find Gorgon in there.
Get,
I'm sorry I'm late. I apologize.
No worries.
we're going to
What
hold
is-
you
So
down
mine
later.
are level 5.
You have to use glasses to see that. Is that level 2?
5
Oh,
5.
oh, sorry.
and I have.
I think only Bonsai needs glasses to see that. I thought, well, no, I'm teasing you. I'm kidding.
And I have 20 built.
Okay, let's get a test. Do we want to test my base?
You think I'm an idiot? I was thinking of a PvP base, really.
I've got it up on my screen now. If you.
That's
There.
where most people are going to use them.
When you find a base, this is actually
But I think they're going to be better when they get the tech.
Didn't want to do that.
yeah. I think too the tech is gonna the Gorgon is gonna depend on the tech they put on it. But
Yeah.
we actually have on our new page the
I
tech.
just want to see what the ranges
So
and
if you go to our page, you can actually see all the tech you can put on it. Jeff did an awesome job with putting it all together, so we can see what each tech can do.
so I've only got 470 range at the minute. What base do you want me to make?
Just you can do a. Do we have any servers with you?
I've got Leonard in there.
That should be enough.
Staying? It doesn't seem to be staying on YouTube. What's going on? Okay.
When
There you go. Good
When
job,
you hit a base.
YouTube finally,
Sorry.
YouTube finally caught up, so it looks good now. It was.
I hit the screen, moved it around a little bit, so sorry about that, guys.
Sorry, everybody, for interrupting, but yeah, now it had caught up and had. I just want to make sure it was staying there while you guys were talking stats.
Oh, and what I noticed too in this event, most of the players did. I will just give Kickside a big shout out for that goal save they made in this event. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but Pixar must have died of heart attack when they seen I've spent $300.
Yeah, and
I think they dusted off their slot in their wallet where your slot used to be. All of a sudden, they opened it and dust came out, and it was like. Wait, Trickster's spending what?
Trickster has used
Trickster's the reason why we had all those bugs. Dang it! When they opened up his slot and Kicksai's wallet, all their malls came flying out.
Yeah, he has glued that to his ass. Oh yeah, exactly. Skip.
When I opened my wallet, I think Tutankhamun came out.
I'm just going to hit a 50 res base at the minute because it's not maxed or anything. So.
It was good. It was good timed. I don't want to say that it's. I mean, you're married to a moderator, but yes, the gold sale was good. Jim bought some, and I said, well, went to buy some. I said, well, how much are you going to get? He goes, I don't know, because I usually get this one. I was like, well, you never know what you're going to need it for. This is before we knew anything about, how many logistics you could get or whatever. So completely forgot to tell him about his academy needing to be 20 in order to max them. So he did not spend the money on his academy, but he had thought about it, but he bought a little bit extra normal than what he would have bought. So yes, thank you to Kicksai for those people who don't coin as much as maybe they used to.
It is me that you need to use glasses again.
Yeah, I know. I bought controllers. I don't know what.
That is a fucking. Sorry, that is a funny looking Gorgon.
He's a brilliant Gorgon. No, I love these.
Next time I'm gonna go to a base, I take my Gorgons and then I'm gonna go with my Prophet.
I think they're going to be Gorgons.
Gorgons. Go and Gons. No.
Gorgons have got metamorphosis problems.
I think the Gorgons, it is the tech that they're gonna be.
The only thing you have to watch with these is mines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't talk about the dragon's teeth or the wire, whether or not they're going to be slowed down by that.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
And they will.
Now,
I think they will take damage when they go through the dragon teeth too.
Guess what? The fire rate is the fire rate and the numbers. Those are the two things that you got to be aware of, because they could actually counteract the controllers.
Yeah,
which is what I'm thinking the whole idea is.
Yeah, but we're don't gonna discuss that now. But we think maybe I think the tech is gonna be what do you call it? It is the Gorgon's success gonna depend on its tech. I think.
Farm the shadow ops, get your tech, because without it, those things are useless.
Yeah. But
they're not going to work so well against the controllers.
Yeah. Hey, Chad.
How you doing?
Hey, Chad.
Good.
Yeah, let's throw that out there. Typically, the shadow ops, the first phase when they do have text like this. It could be different. Everything in Kickstarter is subject to change. No inside information. But as a player, typically the very first one we have where that text like these are released, it seems to be the better drops, especially of the gold version of the text, or the best version. So I agree with the guys. Once you get rolling on your shadow ops, do them and repeat them. If you don't know how to repeat them, get with somebody who teaches you how to repeat them. And for the love of Pete,
I will
Mary
say,
Joseph and the donkey, make sure if someone's prepping for you, that you hit the start button. And if you're repeating, that you hit the repeat button.
yeah, I used to forget that, but I need stronger glasses.
And guys, in our new channel, if you've actually forgotten to hit the repeat button, or if you've forgotten to reload missiles, or you don't have your stuff, it's called a Scott. And please post it in the Watchtower channel that you've pulled a Scott. We'd love to hear from you.
I could swear so much at you right now, Jeff. One, I get it, and two, it's Bonsai's first show. Oh, you are a bleep 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 bleep.
We're gonna do some mouse coding stuff.
Yeah, listen, I'm not the only one that done it, am I? My anxiety. I'm not the only one that done it, am I?
No, I've pulled a Scott. I think it's going to grow. I think everybody's going to start using that term.
Am I, Skip?
That's why I'm still the leader of OL, right, Chad?
And the reason why it's called a Scott is because you were the first and best one to do it.
It all come about because I was doing a shadow ops, and I went into a shadow ops base and I didn't have any missiles, so I had to come out of the shadow ops base. I went back into my base to make some missiles, and for some unknown bizarre reason I put my aces into my PvP air. I went into a shadow ops base, dropped my missiles, and had no aces to do with the base. Therefore I had to end attack again and go back into my base to transfer my aces back into my PvE platoon and make some more missiles. And then when I finally got into the Shadow Ops base, I informed someone on the panel, and as other panel members come into the Hangouts, he informed them all one by one. And so one by one, everybody on the panel decided to take the piss. and Jeff, and High Anxiety has named the maneuver as pulling a Scott.
So it's hard to pull a 3 Scott off. Only Scott can do that, but we can all do singles, and that's the new call out. So if you screw up in War Commander, it's now called I pulled a Scott.
Now you watch in the YouTube side chat, how many people type in I've pulled a Scott?
You know, I see this going even bigger. At some point we're gonna get a hero called Scott.
It's gonna get really, really big.
I think we have one.
Is a 3-man.
Right, Bonsai.
Yeah.
Come to have a go with the Gorgons this time.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Good evening, Yellow. Thanks for joining.
Hello!
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 How is
And
it?
hello!
Hello!
Oi, oi, oi!
Oi, oi!
Oi, Chevrolet, how's it going, guys?
Oh,
Girls?
good.
Yeah,
Good.
Sorry I'm late to the party.
no worries.
No
Right,
worries.
I'm going to do the same base again, but with Gorgons as intended.
Can
You can come on as long as you show up.
Are you bringing out Rifleman this time?
No, I'll put back Jackrabbit. Oh, there.
But meantime, when Trickster is preparing his Gorgons, I think.
Yeah, Gorgons this time.
Okay, thank you.
We need Gorgons versus Liberators.
When I went through to make this the new page with you guys, I actually stumbled about it's some artwork for our page, and when I tried to find them, it was in the beginning a little hard to find out all the artwork that kicks I have, and I will say when I start to look, because when you want to have a artwork on your page, you want the coolest one. And when I went through, I think is a lot of those artworks, I could not decide because they were so amazing to look at, and I would actually give those artworkers a big clap on the shoulder. You would have done a awesome job on those pictures. I'm a little sad that I have not noticed that before, because they should be out and they should be shared with all that like that kind of artwork, because that is so professionally done. Those artworks. Did you guys? Did you see any of those artworks that we posted on our page?
Yeah, that's off to Woody and.
Yeah, Woody is playing with them too.
Yeah, he likes to play with it.
Yeah, but those guys that do that artwork, it is unbelievable what they do with the art.
You mean at the Kickside team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The artwork is absolutely first class.
They
It's
are.
beautiful, some of them. And can I say as well, what Woody's doing is absolutely fantastic also.
Yeah, and the details there is in those pictures is I cannot swear on this, but they are very, 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 very detailed, those pictures. And
You're fucking awesome.
yeah, they are fucking awesome.
You've already dropped a few F-bombs already, Bonsai. What's stopping you now?
I'll swear that I will not put a single bad word out in my first show, but I think that those pictures are fucking awesome.
That almost hurt thinking about how you made that sound.
That was awesome.
No, but it is hard to pick a picture now, because they are so great at all of those pictures. Some are maybe not that detailed, but that is on the single units. But when you see the landscapes and
Actually, not white.
buildings and units that are on those pictures, they are amazing to look at.
I'm just going it. Yeah, some of the a lot of players didn't know that Drake posts that out every month. I think it's been. I know I've helped Sam Bernie with it and Lyle, so I think it's been quite a while they've been putting them out, but maybe not as prominent. I mean, there's some people that are so excited and connected to the game when it comes to the dialogue that goes along in the game on that left lower box. Also the game lore, that when they see the new art, when it comes out, they pick a picture of it and they blow it up and they look at it and they look to see what's going on in the background. They look for new buildings, they look for new turrets, they look for new units, they look to see what the enemy is that's shooting at whatever it is, especially if you can tell if the picture is on our side, like something we're going to get. They look in the background to see, ooh, look what's shooting at it. Oh, this must be the new Corpus unit. Or, oh, this must be that they're resistant to fire. Or, oh, look, they're standing in the embers and they're, they don't look like they're hurt. Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that people really get into it that much. But it's out there for everybody to use on their pages if they want to grab it.
Yeah, and I will make sure that every picture that they put out in the future, I will put it on our page. And actually, if you study this picture, like you said, you can actually see what is coming for the next event or what units they are gonna use in a lot of those pictures. So it is actually a hints up what is coming if you look closely in those pictures. I loved it. I really love those pictures that I have seen so far. So you can actually use pictures as a guidance for what is coming next for you.
Yep.
I think these are glitched.
I think your Gorgons are dead.
I think the glitched because they're not firing as fast.
You got a War Commander disco event.
Something hit you with some freezing thing, I think.
It's a cryo?
They're not firing as fast.
No. This just because they have little cryo on them, that doesn't matter, Trickster.
Well, the workshop's supposed to make those immune.
Exactly.
But nothing's workshopped at the moment.
Yeah, but cryo won't affect your fire rate.
I noticed that as well when I was attacking. They were quite glitchy. They weren't firing.
Maybe the gun is freezing a little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many are right there in that glob?
Can you?
Is it just one?
I have got 20 in there.
Can you spread them little out?
X them out.
Yeah, I can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll come in one place.
A little bit'll do it.
Just be careful that they don't shoot each other.
And these are what level?
So I'm afraid I've got to make a move, my friend.
They are level 5.
Level 5.
I'm not going to really use them tomorrow.
And when the Shadow Ops starts tomorrow, I think it is, I will do some bases and we'll post it too on our new page. And if there's players out there that has little trouble with them, they can maybe put in the chats what they have as their go-to what do you call it, units, and I will try to kill it in the same way as they will, and see maybe how to get the base done if there's some issues with some of the bases. I actually looking forward to the next Shadow Ops bases when they come out.
Yeah, we could certainly do that. If people are short of some of the new units, then we could do them with whatever units the players have.
Yeah.
Damage was a bit high for that base.
Of course, not riflemen's.
Welcome, Terrence.
I didn't hear you guys go over it, but what did you guys think about the PvP portion of the event?
If
the eradication track?
Yeah, I actually did not touch it. I killed 1 or 2 bases and could see that you have to grind those dead bases too. So I skipped. For my part, I skipped it. It was not worth it for me.
I never did any, and there wasn't any reward for it.
I respectfully disagree, but I'm going to let you go down the panel. Go ahead.
Before you do that, I've got to make a move, I'm afraid, ladies and gents. So I shall thank you all for being on the panel. Thank you, Bonsai, for putting on a great show. Glad it went so well on your first night. And thanks you two for coming along.
Thank you, Scott. And see you
later, Scott.
Later, Bobby.
I'll see you all later.
Love you. Go prep me some fours. Kidding. Can I give Jim's thing on that because of the time zone difference, we're going to be farther behind you, because until you guys get caught up on the 29th.
Yeah.
So Jim wanted to say that because he had heard us talking about it in the second show, the mid-event show, and because he doesn't like to throw a lot of coin, it kicks eye a lot, like frack it, let me go do this, let me go do that. So, and Chad can attest to this because we've been in the hangouts afterwards. I'd say to him, what are you doing? And he's saying, I'm repairing. And I said, and the only thing I was disappointed is we ran out of bases to hit because at first, until they reinfected the bases, I get why I didn't want to play with jumps, but while his stuff was repairing, or maybe he made a misstep, or say his controllers jumped, 2 inches, and he was like, oh shit, he's trying to get him out of the way, and then they ended up being perfectly fine, and then he ends up, taking 45 minutes or an hour's damage or more, losing a tune of controllers. Again, this was before his controllers were higher than they were as he progressed the event. He would do the eradication track, and he actually found it. I mean, I know you guys think kind of like grindy, but while his stuff was repairing, he was still earning it. And if you did it right, if you didn't just go, find 5 bases and bookmark them and send five tunes with 5 aces and ruby them, if you did it right and you know how to fly and swing your bombs to go after each one of those purple targets, the more of the shadow forces that you hit, the faster it pushed your eradication track up. Jim actually went through the eradication track 4 times throughout the event. Now, mind you say, well, that's not very much. That's 4 logistics, number 1. And number 2, it was while he was waiting for repairs. Instead of throwing money at Kicks High, he spent wisely, only spent it when he needed to, but also Jim's only been playing 5 years this February. So to me, when I look at everybody else on the panel, although I don't know Disco that well, to me, Jim is still a new player. He's more to me even now what we would consider for me like an old school 45 or 46, even though he's not. So his base is definitely more like a 43 or 44, but his units are good. But he doesn't. That's one thing he can't stand in an event, is to have to sit there with nothing to do. So at least it gave him something to do, and he ran the 10% bonus boost, but it gave him something to do. And again, that's 4 times he did it. And then they reinfected the bases. Well, heck, even I was doing it. So when they reinfected them, they threw they refilled the bases with plenty of forces, and the bases that had already been eradicated were then pink again, and we could hit them again. So it was actually kind of cool to do that in the middle. Even I did it a couple times when I was waiting for stuff to get maybe count down where it was be like 1 coin or 2 coin. But I saw a lot of low to mid-level players doing the eradication track, and they can. And I wanted to thank Scott for that. But there were several sectors that agreed to the warpath rules because the jump wasn't open. And when they ran out of bases to eradicate to get points, people wanted to participate. So I say kudos to the sectors that went with their warpath rules. Anybody that was 0-0 that you were allowed to hit, tagged or untagged, because a lot of those 0-0 bases are dead bases. Nobody plays them anymore. They're reset bases, or they cheated their base expansions or whatever. You can tell, those are easy to tell. They have the really old, Lego looking disco walls in there. So
I think they brought back bases that were dead and removed a long time ago.
I just think that Kickside with the eradication track, I didn't do it, but shouldn't they make it like you can hit, or say Bonsai comes and hits me, then he cleanses my base, but then it's permanently bubbled to him. But then I get reinfected, so say Disco can come along and hit me.
It's kind of cool. I hear what you're saying because people ask that, and
somebody else who's previously hit me, they can't come back and hit me.
Would actually see it. I don't know what kind of that's actually a cool idea. I don't know if that's something they could engineer, but I do like the idea about the reinfection because we had to wait for a regular bubble time drop for the bubbles to drop.
Yeah, especially if the jumps are going to be closed.
Yeah. But then again, if the jump is closed, well, now you're right. If they keep reinfecting them, at least they took that into consideration and did reinfect them because we were dried up in our sector. There was nothing left to hit except for each other. But even then, I mean, most of the bases, except for mine, but most of the bases, if you went to somebody's base, it was really hard to see the units to get to them anyway because all your bases filled and full and trophies and bells and whistles and waz noodles and tie stands and leathers and straps and went, oh wait, I'm sorry, that's a different game. Sorry.
See, Matt. Sorry, I interrupt, but Matt, what was your opinion on the event? Matt. Woo.
Yellow.
Oh, sorry, I had me keyboard muted. The layout of the event and the factions and the main track was brilliant. It was I like the fact that it was 8 go-throughs on the main track, nice and short.
Okay.
Takes a little bit of the grind away. The factions, I like the fact that they were one hit because it stopped beggars a little bit. Can you help me? You know what I mean? Sorry, mate, I can't, but you got to do it yourself. I think maybe they should have kept it. Was it 2, 3, and 4 were one hit?
Yeah. I'll maybe just faction 4.
Yeah, maybe faction 4. Just leave it as that, as a one hit.
And the 6.
So the real players, you know what I mean, get the trophy.
And the 6 main track. I think that for a lot of people, at least the especially the lows I heard, or the mids that I heard from, and players returning to the game. Again, we have to be able to support the people who've played this game for years and then walked away for 2, 3 years, and they're like crazy enough to come back and join the community and play with us again. I love it, but we need to support them. But yeah, the 6 on the main track was one hit, and if you're just coming back to the game and you don't have any gold and you didn't get a re-engagement package, there's, you know, I saw people who were asking, well, what should I use for this? And it's a shame that I didn't see that when we did the mid-event show, so you guys maybe could have shared. But, you know, it's like, oh, just do it with this and that. I don't have those. What do you have? It's like they didn't have aces. They didn't have some of the key things. So it really challenged my brain to say, okay, what do you have? Yeah. One guy, the most recent thing he had was Special Forces, Jericho, Dina. I think, you know, for him, when he left the game, some of the best units we've loved that are basically irrelevant in the game now. No, I won't say Jericho, but we'll just keep that secret to myself. I was going to say, we're going to keep that to ourselves. But that's all they had. So it was tough for them to get through the 6. For them, getting through the 6 was like for the rest of us trying to do a faction 3 when we were first trying to figure him out. So a lot of people were frustrated that they get why sometimes that maybe the faction 4 or the faction 3 or whatever is gated, but they felt that it was unfair for Kickside to put that gate in the main part of the event because they knew they were never going to get the trophy. I mean,
especially being where it was. If they're going to leave it to do these one hit bases, they should always be at the end of each run through.
Yeah,
like being the main track or the faction. To put it at number 5 or 6, I think, like you say, it's a bit cruel, especially to returning players.
At least give them a chance
because they're going to hinder their progress, you know.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, they've done that to the main track. Leave like when it was 12, they left 12 as a one hit, and a ton of people were running into problems finishing the main track.
Yeah, but at least it was at the end. I mean, I'm not, again, I was like, you're right. They have done it before, but at least it was at the end. I mean, goodness gracious, here you were, Bonds. I mean, you guys were running a mid-event show, and we were having to remind people to check. Well, first the icons were wrong. I mean, I'll throw that out there too. I mean, we talked about that in the other show. But once they got the icons corrected, we were many times saying, over and over again, please watch your icons. Even I did it. I mean, and I'm a moderator, and I saw the notes. And I mean, I'm just rolling right along and went to prep a wave for somebody and, did a freaking 6. And they were like, what the hell? It's all back in here. Did you hit it, Skip? And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. So I pulled Scott.
Yeah, I agree. I think Faction 4 should be a one hit. At least give new players a chance to restart so they could get some newer units.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, at least they get to a restart token so they can get on to that. And
yeah, at least they'll get like 1 or 2 of the 3 units that are being offered.
Yeah, I would like to also apologize to the community from my standpoint. If you reached out to me on Facebook, Discord, you're sector admin page, your sector page, KXL. I was so caught up in the fact that Kixeye made the change from 7 minutes to 14 minutes that, and that the fact that the prizes were swapped, that I didn't realize. I'm not saying easy. I'm not kissing Kixeye's ass on this one. This is a communication breakdown on my part, and I'd like to apologize to the community for that. Because I was so caught up in of answering all of the information that we need to get out there. I had not already done a run through my event. So I didn't realize that, yes, when Abe said to everybody, Kix Abe, by the way, he's been on vacation this week. If you're wondering if you sent him a message and he hasn't answered you back, yeah, I'll throw it out there because I'm sure the poor guy's inbox is full and you all are frustrated. When Abe put up the announcement and said that, we would not be offering compensation, oh my goodness, the wheels fell off the bus. And I'll admit I was a little frustrated with that until I realized how easy it was to get your missing Gorgon, which was just finish and then do a couple bases on the main track and then do a faction 1. And if you can't do the faction 1 well, then, you understand what I'm saying. So to those members of the community that I misunderstood until I did it myself, I would like to apologize. And sometimes it just takes somebody to smack me upside the back of my head. Or for me to actually do it myself and realize. So it was really easy to get your missing Gorgon. That's all I needed to say, and I apologize for the miscommunication.
Come and show another base.
I can show you. I actually found this is not my idea, but I just found how to kill the highest resource base.
Yeah.
I can show how to kill that.
Tested that on the 75 forum this morning with controllers, and it's pretty good.
If you have those smaller controllers, I would have said beep, but I cannot say that on my first show.
Why can't you?
You keep flipping on that.
Oh, I have to have a beep button then. Let me see here.
We're beepless here.
I'm gonna put little electric on. Oh, that is the lovely thing where if you watch some YouTube videos of how people kill bases, you can actually learn and try something out for yourself, but and maybe do it your own way in the end. But this one I actually liked a lot. So I use some controllers and I love the range. My I'm maxed out, so you have to be careful when you do them. I start to hit that hellhound first and go back.
I love killing this place.
And then I'm gonna hit the SF infantry. And then I can just go around here.
How many controllers you got there, Bonzo?
Oh, I think it's 6 or so. 6, I think it was.
60.
6. Oh, not 16. Then I just work around the base, and what you can do is as soon as they have what do you call it, shot their first drones out, don't wait till they shoot the second part out, because that if there's a unit out to you, you have to wait for them to recharge. So just make them shoot one drone and then go back.
I've actually started trying to do multiple targets at the same time. If there are things that are side by side,
yeah,
you can time it. If you've got 6 to 8 controllers, you see a first couple of drones and target the next one, and they'll fire in succession, and you'll take out a whole pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do one here. I can show what you mean. In a
I'm going to
second.
show you the exact same base now.
Can you see how long it took for them to reload? Can you see how long time it takes?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you have to. So what I do is I make them shoot one shot, and then I go back like this, because if there's some units coming for me like this one, they will start a shoot as soon as I target it.
Good tip, Bonsai.
What I do is just go around here and make sure that when you're going that you don't stop where where the rail guns is and the big tanks.
Can I show you one the same base after Bonsai
Yeah.
with just using a buggy?
Yeah. Then,
Chopper company.
No,
and
A
then
buggy and what?
aces.
Aces.
and then I'm gonna put in.
But yeah, I could do it with Chopper Company in one it. But then I'll get bored and just throw my aces in. Then I'll like, hang on, it's quicker to just throw aces in.
Yeah.
And
You
this
can do it.
gives
You can do it many ways, but I like to use my units and see what they can do and how.
It's a good place to test your units before you start doing PvP.
This is actually a good base for building up your XP, for leveling up. You just have to watch some towers in the centre.
What I have been doing though is with my controllers, I'll put some devouts in. So if I have to, I'll kind of keep them nearby. So if I have to retreat them from something that's going after my controllers, the devouts usually wipe it out with little to no damage time.
Then I'm gonna take in my aces, and I'm gonna go for what you call them, the technicals first.
You don't take the old base with them.
And that was that.
Nice.
Oh, anti-personnel.
Oh, so I need one of some of them.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite ones.
I better get rid of some.
Did you want to show a base, Trickster? Or is it with Chopper?
Chat, would you like to screen share a base?
I'm actually going to hit somebody right now.
Ooh.
Do you want to make them famous?
No, I don't.
In or out of sector? Wait, should I be paying
In the
attention? In? Do you need me to cover your ass?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm screen sharing Bonsai.
Yep.
And I'm waiting to do that base. I'm not screen sharing.
You are screen sharing? It is maybe YouTube that has to catch up, but just go as.
Watching YouTube as well. So the way I'll do it is just let me on that. And I'll just pile my aces in, and I'll just go around. What's this?
How much damage did you get on that, Trickster?
Hang on, not doing this at all.
And then there was none.
Oh. There you go. Good.
Yeah, I reckon you going to sleep soon.
that's an overnight repair.
Oh, I've got a master loop. No, it's not. Usually less than an hour.
Okay, this I gotta see.
They weren't doing as a told in that one, so
Oh, I can say that too.
yeah, they're all over the place.
That's a 5-hour repair.
Place your bets.
Normally less than an hour. 24 gold. That's bad. That's hour.
Oh no, then it's not that bad.
And there was misbehaving.
So you can actually do 8 of those bases before you go to bed.
Yep. Or you can then you can get up in the morning, do another 8 and go off to work.
Yeah.
And why aren't you 50 yet?
I am 2.5 billion away.
I'm 4.4.
But yeah, they have to remember they are maxed out, those units, so we cannot recommend to do it this way.
I can have that done
No.
tomorrow or what?
If you're gonna try it just before you go to bed.
Well, guys, we have run for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Are we going to wrap it up?
I was going to show you.
Oh, I think,
Trickster's the Energizer Bunny. Keep going and going and going.
Trickster has got his new favorite
I can
unit.
do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Now I've
You
lost.
can do it.
I've lost my team, man. Hang on, I've got to find out where I put them damn controllers. Buggy.
Well,
No, I didn't take controllers out.
do any of you have anything to say anyway to the community? No.
Just spread the word. This is a whole new YouTube channel. This is the gang all together, and share it, please. Help build up a following so we can bring the latest and greatest and answer questions anybody might have a problem. And we'll see you.
We've got a page.
We'll keep plugging away right here.
We've got over 300 members on the page now.
Yeah.
Really? Wow, you guys are up to 300? Sorry. I mean, I know I'm helping, but I mean, I just don't get it started. I really have not even looked to see.
It took me a long time to get 100 accounts going, but yeah. I think a few others might have helped.
No. But meanwhile, when Screenshot Trickster do his next base, can you guys give a what?
You do a base?
Yeah, you said you would do a base.
You want to do mine, Trickster? I'll pop my bubble. I'm only half repaired.
I wanted a 75 in my. Just a quick way of getting fallen, really.
Yeah. Can I will start with the shout outs. Chad, can you give a shout out?
Alright, I found a base now.
Yeah, shout out to you, Trickster. Yeah, you Bonsai on the show. And everyone
Pull the
on
Scott.
YouTube. Yep, that was a major Scott.
Thank you.
Hold on, let me log into game. I could change the leader of OL. Uno momento, por favor, qu'est-ce que c'est? Should have my screen share on. Are you sure you want to make Chad the new leader of OL? You will just become an officer. This cannot be undone until I screw up. And then that'll take about an hour, and I'll be the new. This is how we make use of the alliance feature is when you pull a Scott, you become the new leader of the alliance. I can't tell you how many times we've all changed hands in that position, but most often recently it has been me. There you go, Chad. Welcome
Ink will never dry on those titles.
to leadership of
Disco, can you give a shout out?
Yeah, you carry on. I'll carry on with this
A
base.
major shout out to yourself, Banzai. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
And everybody that's joined the page, share, keep following, more videos. Any info we get, we will share happily. And a major shout out to the people that in the art team. Incredible work. Keep it up. And thank you all. Thank you to everybody in the panel, Skips, Jeff, everyone of you. Brilliant.
And to you, Disco, thank you for, it's been great getting to know you. Thank you for being on the panel.
Thank you, Disco.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I don't normally.
Hi, Anxiety.
Oh, well, let's see. Thank you, Bonsai.
Oh.
Got the name right first. I didn't call you Trickster. Yeah, great group of friends here. Wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. And I'm getting a phone call from the wife. So I'll make it short. Thank you all for showing up, and see you next time.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Anxiety.
And Skipjack, do you want to give a shout out?
Yes, I do. I would like to thank everybody. It sounds a little redundant, but I would like to thank first you, Bonsai, for being brave enough to do this. It's not easy to do. I put out a show that I did not promote, but I put out my own show, Pinup Party, about the changes to YouTube and Google and the privacy changes and the new contracts and how to be a good YouTuber, but also how to be a good participant in YouTube shows. And I just like to remind everybody that this, what people do, not just Bonsai, anybody out there who's doing it. The Twitch streams, I see more War Commander players are going out there and they're Twitch streaming on their own. They're doing their events on their own. And they're throwing their Twitches out there live. Kudos to that. But Bonsai, for being brave enough to jump out there and do that, because YouTube and Google are making it really hard in order to have a panel, and they're making it really hard to screen share. Despite their own privacy and their own community standards, they make it really hard when somebody comes in and tries to sabotage the show. So for you, Bonsai, I'd like to say thank you for jumping out and being willing to put yourself out there, both personally and as a player, because you're not monetizing, you're just doing this for the community. And we could all be out doing other things. We could all be getting laid, but I mean, Bonsai, that would include the frying pan for you. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you prefer doing shows as opposed to getting whacked with the frying pan. And the panel and the YouTubers. And I know for right now, it's going to be a little low, especially because of the time zone for the UK people. But there's a ton of people. It's only 3:33 my time on the East Coast. So it's lunchtime on the West Coast of the United States. So I think as we get in a groove and we get more members on the show, and I want to thank everybody now that will watch this show later, because I know they will, because they will want to participate. And there is no United States time zone show that will be happening tonight. So, as sometimes it used to be like an Unshackled show that would follow. And in addition to that, I would like to reach out to the team again for the art. I'm glad that all of you, I'm sorry that I've always taken it for granted, but that all of you have noticed. Drake does put that out every month in forums. It's a pinned post. It doesn't always get put up first. So if we get release notes and we get event information or any kind of a thing that Drake's putting out there, the art usually comes in last. He wants to get the information out there. But it is usually a pinned post. And then also on the Discord, it's also a pinned post. And now, if you would like to, the artwork will also be on a regular basis, be included in the Watchtower page. So I've had a lot of messages from people who just joined the Watchtower that said, who did this? Is this legal? Can we use it? Is this Kickstarter? Yeah, it's out there. Kickstarter wants you guys to use it. Use it for your pages. Use it for your videos. Use it for your promos. But also,
sorry, Scott. I think we all took the artwork for granted. It's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's like I think I didn't realize that there were people that didn't realize that Drake was putting it out there every month. Although, like I said, Bernie's been putting it out there forever. We just never really promoted it.
Yeah.
And same thing with Lyle. And now Drake is really like, the artwork's out there. Here you go. I want to thank Dark Shadows for reminding. So you guys covered that on the show. I know I came late. But again, thank you, Bonsai, for mentioning about how to do a screenshot. It's going to help with tickets. It's also going to help with if you reach out to a moderator, if you're not eligible customer support. That way, when you take a screenshot, you're taking a screenshot of your game, not like taking a cell phone and trying to take a picture of a computer. So thank you, Bonsai, for posting that up there on how to do it. I do want to let you know that the Atom bug is still being worked on, even though I know you probably covered that earlier on the show, but I do want to thank the team for their due diligence on this one. We have not got an announcement like we got for the Mikey one. I also want to thank the team, but I want to thank you guys because most of you guys were in a hangout when I was asked again about the Mikey bug and about his tech. And Doomsday's not here, but everybody that's here was in that hangout when I asked. And I want to say thank you to you because when Big Dog reached out to me, yeah, I'll throw it out there. Kudos, Big Dog, because I know he's watching. When he reached out to me and he said, can you give me just a little bit more detail? Now, please don't shoot the messenger on this one, but I'm going to throw it out there, okay? Somebody's going to be a negative Nan, so don't get your panties in the wad. And yeah, this is part of my shout out, but this is a little bit of a rant too. Stop picking on the Kickside team members because you don't think that they don't play the game enough. Okay, it was effing funny last night when the game came back up after downtime. I rolled a tune over to Big Dog, and I went to try to flat him and only got him for 94%. Oh, he's coming back to my base, I promise you. But stop saying you would understand the game if you played it like I do. Be part of the community. When Big Dog reached out to us and said, hey, can you give me some more information? He didn't say, I don't play the game. He said, can you just give me some more information because you guys play more than we do because they're busy making a game that we enjoy. And then all of you participated and I reached out to other people and then you gave me the information and we got that to the team. So kudos to the team for making the announcement that Mikey should be fixed on the next downtime, but also kudos to the team because the Atom bug, maybe, I'm not saying that it is, I have no inside information, but because of the information that you've already provided to the team, they're working on it. So
can I say something real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Talk to people the way you want to be talked to. If you wouldn't want to be talked to in a certain way, don't talk to people that way. It's simple how to communicate. It's a simple thing.
They really are. They
don't
are.
degrade people because they don't make the choices you'd make.
Yeah, there's people in forums that were, I mean, I had a few this morning. It was like, I mean, besides the cussing, the cussing aside, calling them idiots and making, just, again, you guys won't see any of that, but the name calling is just, against the team has just got to stop. I mean, first of all, it's just a game. It's pixels. Yes, I know you have money invested. Yes, I know you enjoy it. Yes, we're all addicted to it, or we wouldn't still be here playing it after all this time. We love it. We love the community. It's one of the last, more games out there, MMORTS. And yes, if you watch my pinup party video, you'll watch me stumble through that one and try to remember what it means. If we didn't have that sense of community, but the team, they don't like it when they mess up either. If you listen to Drake's Dungeon, you can hear Kix Big Dog say, I really get upset with myself when I know that it's my fault that I screwed up. They really do. And you may not see that publicly. Of course, I'm not going to throw that out there publicly, but you may not see that out there publicly, but they feel it. And I don't want to have to keep going back to them and send them messages and say, hey, I really apologize for that. Or, hey, don't take that comment personally. I agree with Jeff. Even if you're frustrated and you're pissed off, I get it. I get pissed off too. Sometimes I get my finger slapped for being pissed off. But I get pissed off too. But there's a right way and a wrong way. So just think about the person who's behind that screen that's trying to make something for you enjoyable. And when you reach out to them, be pissed off, but be constructive about it. Don't call them names. They might not have any control over what happened. So it isn't right to point the finger at any one person. And Braden's really taken some heat in the last, I'd say, several months. But now, I think with Storm Chaser being gone, shit, I almost said his real life name. Jesus, Mother of Pete. With Storm Chaser being gone, and that doesn't mean they have too much work to do. That's not what I'm saying, but the roles are shifting. So I think both of those guys are really taking a lot of heat that they don't need to take. They really are trying to do a good job. So thank you to the team. That's my big part of my kudos. Thank you to the team for everything that you do, trying to make a fun event. And God bless you when the wheels fall off the bus, being there. And like I said, I stayed up until after 1 o'clock in the morning, my time, for the downtime to make sure we could test after the game came back up. So some of those guys went home. They did the things that they needed to do. And then they all logged in, from home or at the office in the middle of the night. And they got the game down and fixed what they needed to fix and then got it back up again so we could have the jumps working. So please just stop bashing them. They really are passionate, just like we are.
Constructive criticism is allowed, but name calling, what are we, 10?
Yeah. I mean, just some of the name calling was nasty.
Yeah, you can criticise, but there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
And as a lot of people have seen, they get themselves removed, and then they cry about not being on there to talk.
Well, that's what's happening now again, and it's like okay, it's totally fine if you want to pick on any of the moderators, go ahead and pick on me because I'm used to it and I can take it. And it's one of the reasons why I've taken a more active role in KXL recently, and not only just being on YouTube, because I have too many moderators in KXL at one time. We all have tools that you guys don't have, obviously, and things that we can see that you don't see. And there's a whole warning system in the whole 9 yards. So if you have ever participated in Disco, Forum's just a clunky version of that. It's not very fast. It's not very efficient. It's effective. Oh, trust me, when I drop it. But it's getting to the point now where some people are just becoming plain ugly and nasty about it. That doesn't serve the community. And if you get warned, don't come back in and keep yelling and saying, my chopper doesn't work. I can't get my drones to move. There's no more vent bases. And then you say, if I got paid, blah, 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 based on job performance. I'm going to beat my way through this, but beep, 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 beep. It's not just the cussing. It's like literally calling them idiots or worse. I don't, the R word, and I'm not going to say that word.
If they've only just got the Amiga chopper and they're trying to fly it like the Elite, then they've nippled it.
Well, we have a few people that, I got mine. I got it. Obviously, if you already have Amiga, you're not going to get the offer. But I can't remember how many parts I needed, but I got an offer right before the event. I think it was the day before, or it might have been it was the day before the event. Or it was the morning of, and I bought the rest of my parts because obviously the bases aren't going to drop well. And I did my event with my Amiga, and I was afraid to fly it Amiga because I was afraid I wasn't going to like it because a lot of people complained when it went to Amiga. Oh my God, I loved mine. Right. And yeah, if you don't know how to fly it, then you need to get with somebody who does know how. And Bonsai knows how, I know how, Chad knows how, Trickster knows how. There's a ton of people out there that know how to do it. If you want a video like that, go on the Watchtower page and post a comment on the Watchtower page. If you know somebody who's having problems, and Trickster, any one of the people that are on that Watchtower page that love their chopper as much as we all do, will be more than happy to make a video for you or get to hang out with you.
Here's a video on there of me doing the Amiga Adam base free repair.
Yes, exactly. So it's a timing thing. All Trickster had to say was, Skip, when you do this and you position your main chopper, this is what's going to happen. So now instead of how you did it like this with your Elite, you're going to do it this way now. And just you telling me that, because I knew the mechanics of it. The chopper is not like how the Titan was, where the drones go out front. It's not like Nyx or the Furies, where the drones are out front. You have to know the position of your chopper, where you're going to put it. And also, I've got people that ranting out of their minds because they're saying, well, the drones are just sitting still. If you don't put them in range of anything, they're not going to shoot.
And some people don't use the hotkeys.
Not going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly, Disco, and they don't use their hotkeys. Chad reminded me while I was in not that this is Chopper Company related. It's more.
There you go. That's it.
It's more controller related. I had forgotten about the S key. You can use the S key if you need to. I use the S key and the A key with my. I think those keys are wearing off on my keyboard. You can ask Chad. He's been hanging out with me when I'm slamming down on my keyboard. Freaking where my A key at?
ones I use all the time with the chopper company, A&S.
Bonsai's sharing the page there.
Yep.
And that will come
Trickster,
up.
do you want to give a shout out?
Is Skip Jack's finished now?
Oh, sorry.
That's funny. You're adorable, Tricky.
That was
I love
that
you.
was
Thank you for calling me out.
perfect without being insulting.
No, it's totally fine. I am okay. Yeah, I'm like out there all over the place.
If you're going to be negative towards a team, be positive. Give them a positive idea. If something's broken, then say, well, if you've done this instead and made it a little bit better. I don't know. If I worked for Kickstarter and you come at me, I'd just screw you over even more and say, fuck it. But, shout out, Bonsai. Thanks for putting on the first show of Commander Watchtower. Everybody that's on the panel and been on the panel, thanks for coming along. YouTube, as always, thanks for coming along. And like, subscribe, join the page, and we'll get all the info out there to help you.
Thank you, Trickster. And my shout out is still to the art team that have made those arts. Are you finished?
No, you going last.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to go last.
Yeah, mommy, last now?
No, I think you missed that disco, didn't you?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I want to give a big shout out to the art team. I will make sure that every art I stumble upon, I will put in on our page and make all of our communities to see what great work they have done with the artwork. I start first to notice myself when I have to do my page, and then brings me to the page. I will say with a big love from me to all of you that have put time to help me make this page, and I will say thank you for all those people that have joined me, War Commander Watchtower. We're gonna go on a wild journey, I hope, and we will do some videos of bases and post it on that page. And if you have a video you think that is great, just put it on our page and we will share it with the rest of the community. Tomorrow, when the up spaces are out on the map, I will hit it, and if any of you have some issues with those bases, I can maybe put together a tune that you have, and I will try to smash that base with those units. And I don't use riflemans. I can say that straight away. And yeah, much love from me. And
Just one more thing, Bonsai.
yeah,
Two more.
I want to congratulate you on your first one down.
oh, thank you.
Wait, I'd say if Bonsai gets 500 subscribers, he should have karaoke night.
I can promise you tomorrow when I do the Shadow of Spaces, I will sing my heart out. And I may actually do it on a live show, but I can gonna see if I can manage to put it up on more pages when I do it. But big thanks for all of those players that have joined our page, and all my love from here.
1,000 subscribers, I will attest to naked karaoke.
Oh,
Karaoke.
Can we request the songs though?
Sure.
Can we get that in writing?
What would you like me to? What would you like me to sing?
Right for Fred.
As long as it's not that shark song.
Thank you. I bow to your queenness.
Bonsai's going to sing that one naked.
Baby Shark. Oh fuck no.
Yes, I'm gone. The
Seven Nation Army, maybe.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
We didn't miss any birthdays. We didn't miss any birthdays, did we? Do I need to sing happy birthday? Do I need to put my birthday suit on to sing happy birthday?
Next month.
Next month. There we go. Next month.
Fine.
Well, see you all
Next
of you.
year for me.
Can we all say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Adios.
Adios,
Hasta luego.
amigos.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.